Good morning, Cambridge class. So today we are going to be looking at reading comprehension. So yesterday we did a little bit of maths and a little bit of brain work with our Sudokus, but today we are going to be looking at reading comprehensions. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to read our text. Okay? So, doorstep to wildlife. Even if you live in a busy town or city, wildlife will be all around you as it manages to survive pretty much anywhere. You just have to look to find it. If you search hard enough, you will probably find signs of urban creatures in your street, on your school playing field, through your window, at the park, or in any busy, built-up space. Let's take a closer look at some of the animals and birds that manage to survive in our towns and cities. Foxes. It is estimated that there are around 33,000 foxes, mammals with reddish-orange fur and bushy tails, living in and around urban areas in the UK. They are the most common wild carnivore found in our towns and cities and have adapted brilliantly to life in busy surroundings. They eat a wide and varied diet which includes food stolen from dustbins, bird tables and compost heaps, as well as wild mammals, birds, earthworms, beetles and fruit. Foxes are mostly nocturnal animals, but they are often seen in urban areas during the day. Unfortunately, many foxes are sadly killed on the roads each year in the UK. Hedgehogs. Hedgehogs can be found in almost all urban areas of the UK, except some areas of Scotland. The spiky mammals live in nests under hedges where lots of insects and other invertebrates can be found. Unlike foxes and pigeons, hedgehogs are well liked in the UK and are often called the gardener's friend, as they love eating creatures such as caterpillars, slugs, and snails, which can often be very damaging to garden plants. Hedgehogs have sharp quills on their back. When they feel threatened, they contract two large muscles in their back. This causes these quills to straighten out. At the same time, the hedgehog also curls up into a ball, tucking its face and legs into its belly. This protects it from potential danger. Sadly, it is estimated that just 1 million hedgehogs are left in the UK, which is a 97% decrease since the 1950s. Did you know? Thinking it is good for them, people often leave bread and milk out in their gardens for urban hedgehogs to snack on, but actually you should never feed hedgehogs milk as it can cause them to become terribly ill. Instead, try and provide them with plain, fresh water in a shallow bowl along with tinned dog or cat food. Pigeons. Pigeons are one of the most common birds within the UK. Their cooing calls are a very familiar sound within most cities and town centres. They survive by eating dropped food and litter, as well as insects, seeds, and food from bird feeders in urban gardens. Pigeons are often considered to be vermin, with many people believing that they carry disease, damage property, and pollute urban areas with their droppings. Some city councils have even tried to reduce the number of pigeons by destroying nesting sites, removing pigeon eggs from nests, and introducing more regular litter collections. Glossary. Carnivore. An animal that eats other creatures. Invertebrate. An animal without a backbone. Nocturnal. A creature that is active at night and may sleep during daylight hours. Vermin. An animal that causes harm or damage or is difficult to control. How can we help urban wildlife to survive? Over the last few decades, the number of many urban animals has dropped, which is due mainly to the reduced number of gardens, parks, and open green spaces. It is now much more dangerous for urban animals to find food and move from place to place than it was 50 years ago, but you can help them. If you have any outdoor space or a garden, you could try to help urban animals by making and hanging a simple bird feeder, making holes in fences, planting flowers and plants. Okay, so that is our text that we are going to be answering some questions about. Now, I just want to draw your attention to the words that are highlighted in green. So we've got vermin, invertebrates, and carnivores, okay, and nocturnal. So these are highlighted in green because they are words that are subject specific, so you might not necessarily know what they mean, okay? So because you might not know what they mean, they are highlighted in green to tell you that they are going to be put in the glossary. So the glossary is a bit like a dictionary for those words. So it explains the meaning of those words so that then you can go back and read the text again and put the words in context. Okay, we've got a did you know box down here because it's a little bit of extra information that would not necessarily fit as well in the hedgehog's paragraph. Okay, it's just something extra that you might be interested in, but it's not the main part of the text. Okay, so we've got three animals that we are talking about. So we've got foxes, hedgehogs, and pigeons. Okay, and they've all got their own little headings and they are all put within their own little paragraphs. Okay, so if you are asked anything about foxes for your questions, the first thing that I would do is I would try and find the foxes heading, okay, which is here. So once you've found the foxes heading, you know that anything to do with foxes is going to be within this part here. Because when we get up here, we move to hedgehogs. Okay? But same with hedgehogs. You know that anything to do with hedgehogs is going to be in this part here. Because as soon as we get up here, we start talking about pigeons. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you are doing a reading comprehension, if it's a non-fiction text, is look for a heading, okay, to help you. So there's lots of keys there to help you so that you don't have to read the text more than once. Okay, so you can read it properly once and then you can scan it when you are answering your questions. Okay then, let's have a look at our question. Question 1 then. Which animal is the most common wild carnivore found in the UK? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the important information in my question. So I want to know the most common wild carnivore, okay? And I need to tick only one, okay? It's very important that you have a look at how you are supposed to answer these questions because if you put a cross in the box, for example, like this, you've not answered the question because it asks you to tick it, okay? So you've got foxes, hedgehogs, and pigeons. So you should be able to answer that one quite easily because there's only one of them that is a carnivore. Okay, so I would have a pause of the video now and see if you can answer that question. So how I would do this is on my piece of paper, I would write the number 1, and next to it, I would just write the animal that is the answer. Okay, pause the video now and have a go. Let's have a look at the next question. So, question 2. Join the boxes to match the urban animal to one statement only. Okay, so the bit that's important here in this question is one statement only. Okay, so each animal matches to one. So you've got your 3 animals down here, and then I would read these options first before going back to my text. So the first one, cause pollution in town and city centres with their droppings. The second one, sometimes eat wild mammals and birds. And the third one, like to live in places where there are lots of invertebrates. Okay, so a clue for you here is that invertebrate is one of your keywords for your glossary. So it'd be rather easy to find the word invertebrates in here. Okay, so pause the video now and see if you can match them up. So how I would do this is I would number your animals 1 to 3 and I would number your options 1 to 3 and then I would just write on my page, for example, pigeons number 2, number 1. Okay, pause the video now and have a go at that one. Okay, let's move on. So question 3. In the UK, how many hedgehogs are in the wild now? Okay, so let's have a look at our important information. So in the UK, so we're going to be looking for the word UK, okay, because that's going to be the most, that's going to be the word that stands out the most in our text. Okay, so we want to know how many hedgehogs there are in the wild and now. Okay, but remember it talks about in the 1950s as well. So how many hedgehogs are in the wild now? So I would scan your text for the word UK and then see if it tells you about the hedgehogs and how many there are in the wild now. Remember, the word UK might be in there more than once. Pause the video and have a go at that one. Let's have a look at question 4 then. Question 4. Find and copy a phrase from the foxes section of the text that relates to how much foxes have changed to live in towns and cities. Okay, so let's have a look at the important information. So we've got find and copy, and we've got phrase. So a phrase is more than one word, remember. So we need to look at the foxes section, and we need to see what tells us how much foxes have changed to live in towns and cities. So the bit we need to be looking at is this bit here, okay? So remember, this is the only bit that talks about foxes, so it won't be in any other part of the text. So you want to know how much foxes have changed to live in towns and cities. If I was you, I would look for the words towns and cities, okay? And it says find and copy, so that means you need to copy it word for word from the text. So you're not going to change it and put it in your own words. You need to copy it word for word from the text. And it needs to be a phrase, so it needs to be more than one word. Okay, pause the video now and see if you can have a go at that one. So remember, you're skim reading the text for towns and cities, okay? And once you've found the words towns and cities, you're going to read around them and see if you can find out how much foxes have changed to live in towns and cities. Okay, let's have a look at question 5 then. So question 5, fill in the missing words in this sentence. In something centres, you know that pigeons are around because of their something and their something. Okay? So I would be reading the pigeons section, okay? Because we are talking about pigeons. You've got to fill in the missing words. So your pigeons section is here. So you know that it's only going to be in this part of the text. If we read that section again, pigeons are one of the most common birds within the UK. Their cooing calls are a very familiar sound within most cities and town centres. They survive by eating dropped food and litter, as well as insects, seeds, and food from bird feeders in urban gardens. Pigeons are often considered to be vermin, with many people believing that they carry disease, damage property, and pollute urban areas with their droppings. Some city councils have even tried to reduce the number of pigeons by destroying nesting sites, removing pigeon eggs from nests, and introducing more regular litter collections. Okay, so this question is more of a summarised question. So it's wanting you to use that bit of text to complete the sentence. So in something centres, you know that pigeons are around because of their something and their something. Okay, so again, it's probably going to be around the words cities and town centres where you're going to find that information. Okay, pause the video now and have a go at that one. So you want to be looking up here near cities and town centres. Okay, let's have a look at the next question then. So question 6. Why do councils want to control the number of pigeons in towns and cities? So your important information is why, and then you've got councils. So why do they want to control the number of pigeons? So we'll underline number of pigeons in towns and cities. Okay? So if I was you, the word that I would be looking for here would be councils, okay? Once you've found the word councils by skim reading, then you are going to read around it to see if you can understand why they want to control the number of pigeons. Okay, pause the video now and have a go at that one. Okay, let's have a look at question 7 then. So question 7, why are hedgehogs well liked in the UK? So our important information here would be why hedgehogs and well liked. Okay, so I would probably be skim reading my text for the word well liked. Okay, because that is the key word in your question. Once you've found that in your text, then you are going to read around the word well liked to see if you can work out why hedgehogs are well liked. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, let's have a look at question 8. So question 8, which of these animals would you most like to see and why? So your important information is which and why is very important in this question. Your why is the bit that's going to get you the marks. Okay, so you've got to basically state which of these animals you would like to see the most, and your why has to come from the text. Okay, so the why is your evidence from the text. So for example, I might say that I would most like to see a hedgehog because they are well liked in the UK and often called the gardener's friend because they love eating creatures such as caterpillars, slugs, and snails. Okay, or if you wanted to shorten that down, you could say, I would love to see a hedgehog the most because they have sharp quills on their back, which spike up when they feel threatened, something like that. Okay, so your evidence, your reason why must come from the text. You might say something about you want to feed them. You might want to say something about how can use this bit here. How can we help urban wildlife to survive? Pause the video now and have a think about this question before you answer it. Which of these animals would you most like to see and why? Okay, so my answer for this question would be the animal that I would most like to see would be a hedgehog. Okay, this is because there are just 1 million hedgehogs left in the UK, which is a 97% decrease since the 50s. Okay, so that would be my reason why I would most like to see a hedgehog. Okay, and let's have a look at your last question then, question 9. Why has the author included a glossary? So this is in two parts, this question. Choose one other word to include and write a definition for it. So your first part of the question then, why has the author included a glossary? Okay, so we did speak about that a little bit at the beginning. And you have to choose one other word to include and write a definition for it. Okay, so your one word has to come from the text. Okay, so for example, if we have a look at the pigeon section, you might choose the word disease, okay, and write a definition for it. Let me see, you might use the word decades and write a definition for it. Okay, so you have to choose one word from the text and then you've got to explain what it means yourself. So that's your second part. Your first part is explaining why the author has included a glossary. Pause the video now and see if you can have a go at that one. Okay, so well done for that. Let's have a look at the answers so you can mark your work. So here are the answers for question 1 to 4. So question 1, your answer should be fox. Question 2, 1 goes with 3, 2 goes with 1, and 3 goes with 2. Question 3, in the UK there are about 1 million hedgehogs in the wild. Question 4, oh, we've not got the answer for question 4 on there, just hang on a second. Oh, yes, we have. So find a copy of phrase from the foxes section of the text that relates to how much foxes have changed to live in towns and cities. Adapted brilliantly would be your phrase there. And question 5, you should have in town and city centres, you know that pigeons are around because of their cooing calls and their droppings. So the words in bold are the ones that we're missing. Question 6, you could have something like pigeons are thought of as vermin by many people, so councils want to control their numbers so they don't get too high. Okay. You could say something about the droppings as well. Anything that was just above the towns and cities you can have. Question 7, you could have hedgehogs are well respected in the UK because they help control garden pests and protect plants, so gardeners appreciate them. Question 8, you could have something like, I would most like to see a hedgehog because I've never seen one in the wild and I can try to encourage one into my garden by leaving out some tinned cat food. So the bit they took from the text there would be the tinned cat food. Question 9, so you could have, the author has included a glossary to explain the meaning of some of the trickier words. Your word for a definition could be urban, relating to a town or city. If you are struggling with any of the answers for question 6 and onwards, and you want a bit of clarification as to whether you've got them correct or not, please email me your responses and I can help you out with that, and I can let you know whether you would have got the mark or you wouldn't and explain why. Well done for that today, Cambridge class. I'll speak to you again soon.